Welcome to another episode where we explore the deeply personal stories of how people find their place in the world. Today, we're taking you on a journey through San Francisco, not just the tourist highlights, but the intimate moments that transform a city from a destination into a home. Our guest shares a story that begins with a college spring break discovery and evolves into a profound understanding of community, belonging, and the unique magic that makes San Francisco unlike anywhere else on Earth. Let's start at the beginning, with a memory that would plant the first seeds of love for this city.
My earliest memory of San Francisco, I came here during my undergrad for a vacation, it's like a spring break or something. Yeah, and then I think the memory I had the most is like getting on the cable car. I think it's fascinating. It's kind of like feeling like it's a technology for sure, but it's kind of like a vintage classic technology. And I think that's kind of like the feeling that I have for San Francisco as a city where it's kind of like have that charm of, beautiful, but it's also like have like technology into it. And back then I'm not interested in computer technology or anything yet. I just like study physics. But I feel that, that's something unique.
That first cable car ride, it's funny how a single moment can capture something essential about a place. But what's it really like to navigate those famous cable cars when you're not just visiting?
Yeah, that San Francisco, yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. I've stayed here 10 years and I have not yet taken the cable car ever. Every time I see it, I'm like, don't want to wait in this long line of tourists.
Yeah, you can hop on. I think I start by hopping on at a random station. It's not like a main station, actually. So, yeah.
From those early visits, our guest began to see San Francisco through different eyes, comparing it to other places, discovering what made it unique. The journey from visitor to resident often starts with these kinds of comparisons.
I mean that first time I went is that time during my spring break. But then after that I came to study at Stanford. So it's kind of like south of San Francisco. So it's kind of like a Bay Area, and it feels, it feels like it's like a farm. I feel like Stanford is like, it's not that, that doesn't have a lot of like tall buildings or like, as I said, like a technology vibe of it. It's a little bit ironic, but if you look at Stanford back then, I feel like it's more like a farm more than like a tech hub or anything like that. But San Francisco, I mean, I come to San Francisco from time to time for just like like having fun, sightseeing. Again, I think a place that attract me in San Francisco is like it's kind of like a beauty, kind of like vintage, like old versus new, kind of like being in the same place. And my favorite place that I went, I remember is the Palace of Fine Arts. I think it's the remnants of like the World Expo, and then they have this kind of like a beautiful structure, and then I'm fascinated by the Exploratorium. Yeah, that's also another thing, like it's kind of like like the technology and art coming together.
Choosing where to live in a city like San Francisco isn't just about neighborhoods or rent prices. Sometimes it's about finding a community that aligns with who you're becoming. Here's how that decision unfolded.
Oh, that's after I finished school at Stanford, I stay in the Bay Area. Mostly South Bay, because I live in Palo Alto, that area, for a while, so I didn't like really think too much about like San Francisco. But then after pandemic, I moved to LA, and then I moved back to the Bay Area again, and then now. We feel that, we live in Santa Carlos a little bit, but after that, my roommate Sirapat and I, kind of try to find where's the best place that we can fulfill our mission. not just work, but also, SGI, the Buddhist organization that we support. So we decided to come to San Francisco because of that. So then it's kind of like a combination of like, like the convenience, like a logistical aspect of it, and also like the beauty, the vibe of neighborhood. And we end up being Potrero Hill. I would say that the majority reason, the majority of the reason is from the logistical part of it. But but Potrero Hill is a nice area. It's like, like being on the hill, be able to see the city from the vantage point, I think that's.
There are places in every city that seem to exist outside of time, spaces that slow you down and make you present. For our guest, San Francisco has several of these magical spots.
I would say that my favorite spot is not in Potrero Hill. Of course, I said earlier, Palace of Fine Arts. Yeah. It's a very beautiful, charming place, and walking there, it's kind of like you almost like feel like you in, like it's kind of like times like slow down. Yeah, it's have some magic in it. Another spot that I like is Dolores Park. I think it has a similar vibe as Potrero Hill, where you have like a nice park. People. It's relatively sunny. It can be cold, but it's relatively sunny. There's a very nice ice cream shop, and then there's also like tennis courts. I took people there when people come to visit San Francisco, and then it gives like like a good vibe, good feeling.
Sometimes the most genuine moments in a conversation happen when things don't go as planned. Here's one of those beautifully human moments.
The most unforgettable.
Sorry, this seems like a hard question, but
yeah.
Or maybe someone who like helped you like change your life, like some like shift.
That's quite a difficult question.
Maybe it's okay. We can move to a slightly easier question.
I don't have like, because like people who like like influence or like change my life are not like a San Franciscan. In that case, it's a little bit like hard to say.
No, that's fair.
Living in San Francisco means witnessing the city's complexities up close. The tensions, the divides, but also the unexpected bridges that connect different worlds. Our guest has thought deeply about this.
There's this is just my own perception. I feel that there's like a separation or like a feeling of tech versus like non-tech. Like people in San Francisco, and I feel that I'm very fortunate that that I am a part of this SGI community, because it's like it's a great community where people from all walks of life can gather and exchange ideas. I would never imagine myself getting a chance to talk to people who are like performing artists, or like people from totally different background. And I think one thing that is kind of like fascinating is like I got a chance to talk to people who live in like low income housing and so forth, and then they have like like a very like, their life stories are wonderful. Like of course they don't make a lot of money or anything like that, but they fought. Like I feel like they make their way to live in San Francisco, which is like high income. I mean, like high expense to live and so forth. But they have pride, and then they continue to strive to live here. And I feel that the missing part I feel is that I feel like not many people on the tech side know about this. It's kind of like it's almost like you live on the higher floor, and then you don't have to go to the lower floor, see how other people live. And I mean, I might end up being those type of people who do not care about other side of the city, the other side of the society. If I don't practice Buddhism and got a chance to connect.
As our conversation draws to a close, we arrive at perhaps the most essential question. What is it that makes San Francisco truly San Francisco? The answer reveals something profound about the relationship between innovation and timelessness.
It's a beautiful city. I think as I said earlier, it's a place where you can feel the forefront of the future, like technology and all this, like self-driving car and so forth. At the same time, it's a place where you can still feel like a glimpse of like a vintage art, something that is like even the contemporary is not even the right word. It's kind of like the timeless element of things that that the city captures. I think like a Palace of Fine Arts is like one of the things that have that vibe. And actually another thing is also the Golden Gate Bridge. I feel that's like that symbolizes the fact that it's a technology, is something relatively recent, but when you see, you feel like it's been there forever. You feel like it's like something that is like deeply timeless, and I feel like San Francisco have that kind of thing.
From a college spring break cable car ride to finding home in a Buddhist community in Potrero Hill, this is how a city becomes more than just a place on a map. It becomes part of who you are. Thank you for joining us on this journey through San Francisco's streets, its communities, and its timeless ability to blend cutting-edge innovation with enduring beauty. Until next time, keep exploring the stories that connect us to the places we call home.